Hi, welcome. I'm Anese Cavanaugh. I'm the founder of the IEP Method, the Positive Energy Workplace Initiative, and the author of Contagious Culture and Contagious You. So I wanted to show you a video. We thought I did a keynote in December of 2021 for the Women in Automotive Leadership Conference, did it in Florida, had a really, really great time. And what we did was they posted it on Facebook. So we have grabbed a recording of it to show you the talk, as the talk was something that a lot of people said was really important for them as they thought about moving into 2022. So following this recording here, I'm going to be actually showing you the actual talk. It's about 23 minutes long, and this was the closing keynote for Women in Automotive Leadership Conference. Thank you again so much, Women in Automotive, for having me. I loved being with you. I loved the breakout session. I loved the closing keynote, and I loved the people that I got to hang out with for a couple of days. So here you go.
And then there was one last awesome, incredible presenter for the Women in Automotive Conference. It's my pleasure to introduce you to her. She is the CEO of Active Choices, Inc., creator of the IEP Method, Intentional Energetic Presence, and the Positive Energy Workplace Initiative. She's a strategic advisor to leaders and organizations around the world and the author of 3 books, most notably Contagious You, Unlock Your Power to Influence, Lead, and Create the Impact That You Want. She's kind of an underachiever, but we invited her anyway. So without further ado, it's my pleasure to please welcome to the Women in Automotive 2021 Winter Conference closing keynote presenter. Please welcome Anese Cavanaugh.
Hi.
Oh my God, I'm so happy to be up here with you. All right, everyone just take a nice big deep breath. Sit back in your seats. And let yourself just relax into this. I'm going to share something with you. It takes about 6 minutes. It takes about 6 minutes, so just let yourself have it and see what you see for yourself in this piece. Okay, there we go. All right. How does a leader inspire the folks? Does she shut down and grimace and say, nope, 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 nope? Does she need it her own way? See few employees in her day? Does he scream and demand and not offer a hand? Does he shout? Does he pout? Does he have to figure it all out? Does she whine? Does she cry? Does she take her marbles and say goodbye? Does she lie? Does he make you feel wrong, say one thing but do the other? Does she treat you in a way that makes you want to call your mother? No. A leader doesn't do these things. She doesn't even try. She gives it her all with an authentic reply. She meets, points, and rallies. She speaks her own mind. She believes in her people. She leaves no one behind. She challenges, she inspires, and she compels others to do the same. She knows what you're up to, what you're about, and even your name. He's genuine, he's authentic, he is the real deal. And he'll invite you to talk, play, listen, learn, and be heard over meetings or a meal. She recognizes and acknowledges she doesn't have to know it all. And when she's stuck, she is not afraid to make the call. Help, she will say. For this, I need experts smarter than me. To collaborate, differentiate, to explore, and to be the best we can be. She invites risks and takes them. With her, you are safe. She encourages growth in learning and inspiration she leaves in her wake. You'll see her in the hallways and in your office. She may stop, but it won't be just because something's wrong. She might just want to talk. She wants to feel seen, to feel valued and free, and she celebrates the results by including you and me. She shows courage and vulnerability. He questions his own culpability. She stands for gratitude and generosity, and he quickly cleans up any drama or animosity. Yes, these are some of the things she does, and yes, they're all fantastic. But she has a secret sauce, one that makes her quite elastic. And you have it too, and it's yours for the taking. But take it on now and fully, because your next level of leadership, it's waiting. See, throughout all of this, will leaders leadership often gets the glory. If you really want to play the game, there is so much more to the story. She stands tall and confident, her presence commanding. Everyone breathe. She leads and inspires without shouting or offending. She takes exquisite care of herself. On this you can tell. Her posture is fantastic. He eats really well. She lives in her body. She takes care of it every day. And she honors her self-care, prioritizes it without further delay. She knows she can do more, can serve, and contribute if her energy she intentionally distributes. He also gets his people counting him something gigantic, so he commits to sticking around in a way that's authentic. He doesn't do it by the book, for that would be fun or real or even work. So he leads his health and himself creatively, and everyone gets the perks. This kind of leadership is solid, not hollow. Thoughtful delegation, accountability, and white space, the people, they'll follow. See, underneath this behavior is something even more remarkable. Her intentions, energy, and presence are authentically unstoppable. And if you were led by her, you become a bigger person. Not because she forced you, there would be no coercion. She'd hold space for you to step into, her presence would compel it, but again, not because she forced you, because she doesn't have to sell it. More so because he'd see you. He'd see what you can't see yet. And she'd grab you by your soul to be the biggest you could be. She'd ask you to lead and to contribute something fierce. And you'd question your abilities, perhaps even through tears. But she'd ask, she'd demand it, she'd share what she could see, and she'd ask you again, please be the biggest you can be. Not for yourself, or your wallet, or your fame, but simply because you care about people and the integrity of the game. She'd approach and step back, he'd guide, push, and pull, and after leading with her, your heart would feel full. And you know you could do it. After all, how could you not? Because once you've led with this leader, you can't not take your shot. So off you will go to make an impact and serve, because with this new awareness, you are ahead of the curve. For you have been touched by the gift in the game of leadership, of having someone champion you who knows that you are hip. Go forth and lead, make your own way, the people are counting on you, this is what she'll say. And I'm here in service, I love you, I care, I will not do it all right, I will mess up, beware. But you can count on me, we are one and the same. Leadership has called us by spirit, by name. Get out and lead, give it all that you've got, take care of yourself, this will sure mean a lot. You have work to do, don't question it, don't pause, the world needs you now, play the game, choose your cause. And you, well, you won't be able to stop yourself because you've been inspired. And here is the real trick, the old you has been fired. See, you are this leader now. You have work to do. So get out there and play and consider this your cue. And that's how it works, folks, one step at a time. But do not do it alone, for together we will climb. There are things that will serve you or your people or your cause. There are things that will tick you up, light you up, and make you feel raw. But lead for goodness sake, no matter what you do. Stay awake, stay aware, stay brave, stay true. There is so much good to lead for. There is so much good to do. And with an abundance of need, the world is waiting just for you. So the time to lead is now, wouldn't you all agree? So come along, lean in. Thank you. I wrote that actually right before the pandemic. And when I wrote it, I didn't realize what we would all be asked to become over the next 2 years. And it's funny because after the pandemic, I haven't performed that in 2 years on stage, and after the pandemic, or during the pandemic, or in the pandemic, wherever we are in the pandemic right now, I kind of thought, oh God, I don't know if this still applies. But as I went through it again before this session, it's like, no, this is actually more important than ever. So tonight, I get to close us out by talking about our becoming. Our becoming. And I think this is one of the most important, beautiful things, daunting, terrifying things that we have an opportunity to do in our lifetime, is to become. So I'm going to share a couple different things for you to be looking at, both for yourself, for you as a leader, and also for you in your organization. But before I dive into that, I want to just clarify a couple things that sometimes people think of when I talk about becoming. How many of you just got freaked out when I said becoming? Nobody. Okay, good. Maybe 2 people. Okay, that's good. So fantastic. Didn't need to put that in the room. All right. So here's the thing with becoming. Becoming is not always a really pretty thing. Becoming can be messy, right? Becoming who we're becoming in our lives. Actually, we become bigger and bigger and bigger, and it's often because of the challenges and the hard things we go through. So how many of you went through something really difficult over the last 2 years? How many of you feel like you've become an even bigger, stronger, more solid person? How many had hurt this last 2 years? How many watched people you love go through hurt? Okay, great. So in all of this, we're all becoming. And I just, real quick, my story around this, just really fast, is right before the pandemic, you know, Ileana mentioned I wrote the book Contagious Culture back in 2015. In 2019, I wrote Contagious You. At the end of 2019, we got ready for the launch. 80% of our business was ready to go out on the stage. I was in room with clients, the whole thing. And oh, by the way, I wrote a book called Contagious You, calling people contagious. Okay? So then Contagious COVID dropped. Okay, Contagious COVID dropped a couple months later. And it was had a really interesting impact on a book called Contagious You. Even though the words in Contagious You and the ideas around how our energy is contagious and how we show up as contagious, even though they were more important than ever, what my expectation of that was going to happen with that in the business and what actually happened was very, very different. Anybody have different expectations at the beginning of 2020? Okay, so I got to do some really cool soul searching, and you know, as I look back at it, I wouldn't trade it for the world, because I remember one day laying on the floor in my office and trying to figure out what we were going to do. We had dropped out about 80% of our revenue, or 80% of our engagements, excuse me. I was wanting to keep my team in place. I was scared. I have 2 kids, like the whole thing. I remember laying on the floor in my office, and I was looking at the ceiling, and this question came to me, and the question was, well, Anese, who do you want to become in this? Who do you actually want to become in this? And this is still when we thought it was going to last a month or so after that. So I was like, well, in a month from now, I want to become this. Okay. So that was really helpful for me, and it gave me a little bit of peace. So I found that as a good anchor. The next day I went and I met with my team, and I asked my team this question. There we go. I asked my team this question. I said, team, who do we want to become in this? We have an opportunity right now. We can either hope things get better and kind of like put our blinders on and keep, pretend like nothing's happening and see if we can keep doing stuff and all that, or we get really, really curious. We can work on our own personal becoming, and we can work on our becoming as an organization. And this is actually what brought us forward 2 years later to where the work got even better and the team got even stronger and everyone stayed in place. So I offer this to you because I want you to start thinking right now, and I'm going to give you some things to take home with you on the plane tonight or tomorrow, whenever you're going back. But I want you to think about this. Who are you becoming? And right now, just check in with yourself. Gut check. Who are you becoming? And one of the things that often happens when I talk about becoming is people have one of 3 reactions. They either get really inspired because you have a ton of control over this. Like, I get really excited by this question. You have a ton of control. They get really, really freaked out because they think they're going to have to do a ton of work. Or they get really scared because this can be a really scary question. So I want to offer you this. You have control. You don't have to be scared. This is actually, part of your becoming is really honoring where you're at right now in this moment today. And the third thing is that I'm not going to create more work for you, because becoming itself is not a to-do list. The act of becoming should not be something that you write down as a to-do list of like, I'm going to become this and I'm going to become this. The act of becoming is about your awareness, your intention, and your being. It's just simple awareness, intention, and being. And what I find is that we are becoming more and more of ourselves as we go every single day, or less and less of ourselves. We get closer to ourselves or further away. Every choice, every thought, every decision, every breath helps us become. So I want you to think about this one. All right, So if we look at becoming more of who we want to be and who we don't want to be, think about when you came into this conference 48 hours ago. Are you more of who you want to be now than you were when you got here 48 hours ago? Right? It never stops. Like this is, have any of you really thought about this? Like, our becoming never stops. We're always becoming more and more of who we want to be, or we get further and further away from ourselves. So if we look at this, even in this session, you won't be the same person you were 20 minutes ago when we're done here. So to me, what this brought up for me this last year was really looking at how am I spending my time? How am I building my relationship with myself? How am I leading my team? How am I creating space for more leadership? Is our team becoming more of what we want or not? Now, of course, this can all be done with intention, energy, and presence. This is something we have absolute control over. So the invitation is to set an intention for who you want to become without turning it into a big job or a big to-do list. And there are a couple of different places I want to have you look before we close out tonight. The first place is I want you to think about, as you're leading right now and how you're showing up, is how infectious is your becoming for other people? And I'm talking about infectious in a really good way, not the COVID way, okay? So there is a really good kind of contagious. So our becoming is contagious. The more I step into my becoming, the more I step into being who I truly am, the more I step into leading in a way that's really, really authentic, the more that impacts the people around me. Just like presence begets more presence, busy begets more busy, complaining gets more complaining, staying stuck begets more staying stuck. So our becoming is contagious. So even by having this conversation tonight, the people that you lead out there and the leaders that we're talking about bringing up in the world, they're going to benefit from your own becoming. There are three. Sorry guys, I just dance.
Like a flamenco.
I really want to, okay, there you go. All right, it's like roulette. When's it going to stop? All right, there are three areas of becoming I want you to think about. The first area, and this is the most important one, is with and for myself. Your relationship with yourself is the most important relationship you're ever going to have. So to me, this is all about how am I showing up for myself? Am I my own best friend? Am I an advocate for me? Am I staying connected to my core values? All that good stuff, right? So relationship with yourself, start there. The next place we want to look is in you're becoming as a leader. Do you guys like this? Actually, this was maybe on the menu. All right, as a leader, which is all about your what's happening. All right, about your relationships with others and how you create impact. All right, so that's the second part. If you get the relationship with yourself first, this next part gets so much easier. Guess what gets even easier than that? Who you're becoming as an organization. All right? Because how we bring ourselves to our organizations and who and what we become together on our teams and as a company and for our customers, all these three things work together. And if we do them well, we ultimately land here. We land with a positive energy workplace that has truly nourished and authentic leaders who are allowed to come to the table as they are and do their best work, and therefore we get solid impact. We've been talking about this through the last 2 days, how important the people, the relationships. Take care of the people first, the impact will follow. It will follow, I promise. All right. So how do you actually do this? And this is where I'm going to give you guys a little bit of homework. Oh. Well, there you go. Becoming with yourself, being your own best friend, getting really, really present with yourself. Noticing how you talk to yourself and giving yourself the care and attention that you need, especially after going through the last 2 years. Before the pandemic, I would be saying the same exact thing. What I noticed is after this pandemic, we got a little bit extra TLC to give ourselves. So here are 4 questions you can ask yourself. I invite you to take a picture of these and workshop them on your way home tonight or tomorrow or whenever. Make a weekend retreat out of it. These 4 questions right now, we want to really look at who did you become over these last 2 years. Look, get curious, give this credit. Don't pass this over. This is such an easy question. Be like, oh yeah, I became more resilient. No, there's so much more. Who are you being now? Who do you want to become moving forward? And what support do you need? And then you have to ask for it. The next place we want to look is you're becoming as a leader. All right, so you've got your becoming as you, now you're becoming as a leader. To me, becoming as leader always boils down to three things. It's our intentions, our energy, and our presence. And really, really thinking about the impact that we want to have. So these 4 questions right here will help you in looking at who am I becoming as a leader, who do I want to become as a leader, and what is the impact I actually want to have. For those of you that were in my session this morning, you got a little bit of a head start on this one. For those of you that were not, I'll give you a resource so you can go download some information and learn more about this. All right, but get these. Do you guys have these? Where are we at on time? We good?
Keep going.
Okay, baby, I'm gonna keep going. I think we're really good on time, actually. All right. I just get excited when I get up here. All right, so the third thing we want to look at is becoming as an organization. All right, so now we've taken care of you. You're growing your leadership, which, by the way, this is never, ever, ever done. So as an organization right now, as a team, as an organization, I look at organization, by the way, it's not just your company or your team. Your family is an organization. Your friends are an organization. All right, so let's look at this one. Who have we become over these last 2 years? You and your organization, you are not the same that you were 2 years ago. What culture are we creating now? Who and what do we want to become moving forward? And how are we nourishing ourselves in order to create the impact we want to create? This nourishment thing is huge. I'm new to your group. I'm new to the automotive industry. I've been hearing, you guys are all talking about the next 10 years, the next 10 years, the next 10 years. I will tell you, to me, nourishment of the leader and intentionality, what we're talking about here, becoming, this is a huge part of what needs to happen in leadership in the next 10 years. The nourishment of all these human beings. And I think that we have a really exciting moment right now where organizations, we get to decide who we're going to become in this moment. It's this choice point. You guys ever heard of choice points before? The choice point, our brain will literally rewire based upon the choices we keep making. So for example, if I keep deciding to complain, my brain goes, oh, she's really good at complaining. And it makes my brain stronger at going to complaints. But if I'm really good at looking for solutions, my brain goes, ooh, she's solution-oriented. And I start to strengthen those wires. If I am always upset about what's happening and not grateful, my brain goes, oh, she's really good at that, makes it stronger. If I come from gratitude and intentionality, that gets stronger. Right now we have a choice point of do we go this way or do we go that way? And I already know you made your choice because I've been with you for 2 days. You've already made your choice. But I want to remind you here, and I want you to give this information to you so you can take it to the people that you're leading so they can have the same choice point. And where that really leaves us is how will you actually choose this moment? Or how will you use this moment? What will you actually choose? And I wrote something for you guys last night, actually. It's not in my body yet, so I'm going to have to cheat. But I wrote this for you after spending the last 2 days, or a day, I guess it would have been yesterday. I had to have a lot of really good conversations with you. And I want to really thank you for welcoming us into your group so beautifully. But this is the PPE version of the Leader You Will Be that I performed earlier. So there's the post-pandemic edition. PPE.
Non-contagious version?
No, this is the non-contagious version, but it's still contagious. Like, that's the thing. If people looked at, that was the thing that I think made me the saddest, when people were like, oh, we can't send books to people calling them contagious in a pandemic, it's insensitive. And I was like, I get that, and our contagiousness now is more important than ever. Because what we're putting out there, how we are with each other, how we take care of ourselves, it's bigger now. So here's your PPE version for women in automotive. So then she went through a pandemic, and it was something quite formidable. But she did her own work, stayed present, took care, and learned that she was even more formidable. She brought her people with her, she led with her heart, she got clear on her intentions, and she proclaimed a brand new start. She found she was even stronger, more clear, and more alert. For these years, with all their tears, challenges, and hurts, had forged a new leader, a new champion, and a new kind of freedom that led this woman to know that there was nothing for which she could not kill. So she continued to rock the automotive industry. This is yours, ladies.
Yeah.
She continued to rock the automotive industry, bringing men and women with her along the way. And while doing so, she couldn't help but wonder what her future self would say. So in the midst of navigating EVs and ICEs and ADASs and DMSs and PSs and RSVPs and keeping business right, did I get it? I tried so hard, I was researching. Her future self told her, keep going, keep your switch on ignite. Be gentle, be kind, and give yourself a break. But my dear, dear love, do not ever doubt or hesitate. Because you are grand, you are you, and I have just one more thing to say. You are more the leader you will become in every single way. And she quietly realized her new leadership and chapter had only just begun. Because this woman, this leader, was once again more of the leader she would become. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for watching that with me again. That was really fun to watch. It brought back really good memories. Please excuse the audio visual issues that were happening there. Just, back from the pandemic, we're all figuring out how to do certain things, and stage stuff is no different. So I appreciate that if you held through that and listened through the audio and you could actually hear what was being said, then power to you. Hopefully you got a sense of what I was talking about, and it's something that will add some value to your life. If you or your organization are looking for someone to come in and speak and do something very customized to your organization and what you are dealing with right now, I would be happy to speak with you. The Leader You Will Be poem is from the leadership storybook that I wrote, just a sweet little book. And the last part is something that when I'm doing keynotes now, I actually craft something that's more customized to the particular audience that we're working with, depending on their industry and what they're dealing with. So as you saw, so you'll notice in that keynote, I opened with The Leader You Will Be, and then I closed with the post-pandemic edition, or current post-pandemic edition, integrating a little bit that was specific to women in automotive and some of the things that I had heard them talk about and some of their acronyms and whatnot. So if you're interested in talking to me about that, would love to talk with you. We are definitely going to be putting me on stages a lot more this year to really go out and spread the word around how important it is for us to be intentionally, positively contagious and useful in the way that we're bringing our energy to the table. And I would love nothing more to be with your people to give them that message as well. So you can email info@activechoices.com. You can also find me at anesecavanaugh.com, activechoices.com, and at anesespeaks.com. All right, we will see you out there. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.